WhiteDove, and I am from the Wabanaki Nations here in the northeast of the United States and Canada. The Wabanaki are the people of the Dawn Land. And the Wabanaki Nations include the Passamaquoddy, the Penobscot, the Maliseet, the Micmac, and the Abenaki. And today I'd like to share another Coyote story with you by candlelight here. This Coyote story explains why coyotes howl at night. Many, many moons ago, the Great Father looked into the night sky and noticed that Grandmother Moon was all alone, completely surrounded by darkness. Just when he thought he had finished creating the night sky, the Great Father, at that moment, thought that Grandmother Moon must be very lonely. His heart went out to Grandmother Moon, and so he decided that he was going to do something else with all of his creative energies in the night sky. The following day, while the sun was shining strong, the Great Father went around collecting as many sun rays as he could, turning them into brilliant balls of light, enough to fill a huge white sack. His intentions were to arrange these balls of light in a particular signature design, like beads, in the night sky, and he would call them stars. The night sky would become his artistic palette, and all human beings and animals that see his designs in the night sky would know, until the end of time, that this is the creative work of the Great Father. And Grandmother Moon would no longer be lonely again in the night sky. After he felt that he had collected enough balls of light in his huge sack, the Great Father felt that he needed to rest a bit before nightfall. He was feeling tired after all that work. So he found a huge maple tree with lots of shade underneath. There he sat himself against the tree trunk with his huge sack of light beside him. Under this shady tree, the Great Father was soon lulled to sleep by the warm breezes and the cricket songs. In the meantime, Coyote was quickly approaching this place where the Great Father was resting in the shade while searching for his next meal. All of a sudden, he caught a glimpse of the Great Father in a huge sack under the maple tree. Coyote said to himself, "Well, looky there under the great maple tree. It's the Great Father snoozing alongside a huge white sack. I bet the Great Father has loads of good things to eat in that sack, and he is not going to share it with anyone. We'll just see about that. I have a plan. I will quietly sneak over to the great maple tree and silently lift the sack and take it to a hidden place where I can eat as much as I want from it, and then return the sack before the Great Father wakes up. Then he'll never notice the sack was missing." So Coyote slowly crept over to the huge sack and lifted it without making a sound. The Great Father was sleeping soundly and snoring. He never even heard Coyote. However, Coyote didn't realize how heavy the sack was. As he quietly snuck away, he was having difficulty balancing himself with the huge sack over his shoulders. Then Coyote tripped over a rock in that place, and that's all it took. Coyote went flying in one direction, and the sack went flying in the other direction. As soon as Coyote got up and turned around to retrieve the sack, he saw hundreds of light balls rise out of the sack and escaped towards the sky, which was now beginning to turn dark. He soon saw Grandmother Moon above in the night sky, now surrounded by hundreds of sparkling lights. It looked like someone had taken a paintbrush and spackled the black sky with white paint. Suddenly, the Great Father awoke because of all the commotion that Coyote was making. He first noticed his sack was missing, and then he saw an empty sack in Coyote's paws. Finally, he looked up at the night sky and figured out what had happened while he was sleeping. Then the Great Father responded, looking at Coyote. "Coyote, look at the big mess that you have made. You should be ashamed of yourself. It was my plan to carefully place the stars in the night sky in a creative design, as if working with beads, so that all who looked up and saw them would know that this is my work. This is my design. Now look what you have done. It looks like a big mess up there in the night sky. Complete chaos." Well, the Great Father sighed with frustration and disgust. "Well, at least Grandmother Moon is no longer alone up there in the night sky," he said. Well, Coyote felt so badly that he raised his head to the night sky and began crying and howling. "Ow! Ow!" From that time on, every generation of Coyote has howled to the night sky in homage and will continue to do so until the end of time. This is Coyote's way of making amends to the Great Father. Ow! So that's why Coyote howls at night, because Coyote felt so bad that he let all of those light balls escape the Great Father's bag, filling the night sky with chaos. And the Great Father never had a chance to arrange each star up in the sky the way he wanted to. Thank you for listening. I wish you much peace, love, light, joy, and magic in your lives. Merci beaucoup. Kajiwiliwani.